Hi guys and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing Ride 4. We're going to be using Norick R-Base Yamaha YZR-R7 right here in Ollerton Park. Now of course I absolutely love Ollerton Park, so when I seen it in the career mode and I had an opportunity to use this bike and the livery combination, thought why the hell not? I know it should probably be in Suzuka for Norick R-Base, but it came up in career mode and I just couldn't find a better opportunity or an excuse to use it, and I really just wanted to use this bike. And of course this livery did come from Sergio23, so thank you very much Sergio as always. Probably going to always be using your liveries forever, the livery king. But for the time being, starting here in the back of the grid in Ollerton Park, we're pretty confident in our abilities getting up on the inside of a fellow Yamaha, going into the right hand of Shells Oil's corners. There's been absolute carnage in this particular race already. The AI in Ollerton Park really begin to struggle, so I guess it's going to be the old-fashioned moving up into the front and just disappearing into the distance and trying to chuck in our fastest possible laps we can even try and dream of here in this wonderful circuit. Now, one time ago I did actually hold a world record here in Ollerton Park with the Kawasaki ZX-6R. Unfortunately, I don't think that is mine anymore. Might have to have a revisit to that one day and hopefully regain the top spot of the leaderboard for Ride 4. But now onto the left hand side, approaching the water tower, we do have Alvin Finch ahead of us, so hopefully he can give us a bit of a... Whoa, goodness me, went straight over the corner into Druids and then just tipped the bike straight into the grass there, and I had a massive wheelie myself, not paying attention because I have only got anti-wheelie on one on this Yamaha right now, and I've got to say this Yamaha is a pretty nice bike, and it says I've actually never ridden this bike before, but I think I bought a brand new Yamaha just for this livery, and then I could buy another Yamaha for another livery for example. But for the time being, I'm on 0 miles, pretty much 3 miles on this brand new Yamaha YZR-R7, whereas Pedro Amadeus is now in second position with Kate Stewart in third. We ran a little bit wide there going into Cascades, but we still have the bike and we're still giving it 120% with this motorcycle right now. And of course, if you do have any more liveries to share with me, let me know in the comment section down below. Do appreciate you guys making all these liveries. You're very talented, much better than I could do. I do try and do a few bits when I can with the helmets, and I do have a Yamaha R3 livery, which was actually the Monster Energy Yamaha livery from 2017 on there, or it might be 2018, I can't actually remember. But it gets me a couple of bits of credits every now and again, not enough probably compared to the likes of what Sergio does and some of the best content creators for liveries, but for the time being I'm happy just providing the racing, providing the guides and the tips and tricks, and that is how my channel will be for the foreseeable future. We're now onto the right hand side for the Knickerbrook, beautifully done. So now to the left hand side, make sure you just release acceleration ever so slightly going over the rise and over the hill there, because if you continue to accelerate you're probably going to wheelie yourself into oblivion, so do be very careful going into that corner. Same could be said here for Druids. Look how we rode the wheelie there, you see that? Sort of letting the bike wheelie in itself but pushing it down and then slowly reducing the acceleration, just gradually brings it down. Really good stuff. I'm very much enjoying this Yamaha. Now you guys mentioned to me a couple of days ago in the community post I posted just a couple of days ago, and that was regarding Ride 4 top 10 lists, and you guys absolutely killed it with the list. There was just a massive amount, which is super cool because it always gives me motivation and ideas for more content. And of course, if you guys like the top 10s, the top 5s, whatever it may be, then I'm just going to keep on making them, because of course they're quite fun to make as well, to share my opinion, and then of course you guys then give me your opinion as well. So it's just a mismatch of just conversation starters and just brill amount of content for us all to discuss and enjoy. So big thumbs up to you guys. But one of them was mentioned in there as a good starter motorcycles or top 10 bikes for beginners. I think this Yamaha has a pretty good chance of fitting into one of those categories. Very easy to handle, very relaxed sort of control. I like it so far, very much enjoyable. It feels very good, and of course being the R7, not as powerful as the R1 for example, it's not going to leave you shaken and stirred like a James Bond martini. The R7 treats you right and much better than the more 1000cc bikes out there. Of course it's probably a good starting point from when on Ride 4 for the very first time. You want to be starting with the 250cc's, moving up to 300s, 500s, 600s, 750s, and of course 1000s. It's very simple in that regard, but there are bikes such as the Honda CBR 1000R from 2008, the Fireblade. That's a really great bike to learn. So it's not just because it's a 1000cc or it's a 750cc or a 500. You might find that maybe some of the bigger bikes actually are easier to handle than some of the slower ones, so bear that in mind for that top 10 list, which will be coming very, very soon. Not entirely sure when I'm going to do it, because I actually have to put a bit of work in now, and I'm going to have to end up playing this game a lot to try and figure out what bike suits what, and if the bike really fits the category I want it to be in, because we're looking at soon for the top 10 naked bikes of Ride 4, and even then I found a couple of bikes that I hadn't even touched or even looked at, to be quite honest with you. There's a plethora of bikes in Ride 4, and I don't even think I've touched half of them. There's quite a few that I've missed out on, and really just stuck with my old favourites, and of course trying to get all the trophies and achievements for Ride 4, getting all the maximum amount of affinity levels for the bikes as well, is meaning that we're going to be using the same bike over and over again quite often. I have been doing some time trials and just 30-lap races to try and increase the affinity, and of course I'm still trying to get the final test rider role done, which is the Harley Davidson. I hardly ever touch the Harley Davidsons, and I need a chance to get into the testing role for that one. It'll be the last bike to do, so keep an eye out for that video soon, because that'll mean that I've done all of the test riding stuff, which I'm very pleased about. Now, as far as this race goes, we have dominated it. We've absolutely decimated the field right now. We are 15.5 seconds clear from Augustus Masson, the Frenchman, behind, and DrAce is probably even further behind, as you can see in the graphic in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. But we went across the D Elite there with a 16-second lead now. So across the line, we have just improved the lap time once again, and we are just killing it. This is how good this Yamaha is, and probably a little bit of skill involved too, thankfully, with Norick R7 on the bike. Sadly, that lovely brown long hair that's sticking out the back of the helmet isn't quite featured in the game, but I really wish they hope that they'll do that for a future game, that you're allowed to have some hair dangling out the back of it as well. They look really cool, they look quite realistic in that regard, and it gives the bikes and the riders a lot more personality. But I'm actually pushing now for a potential 20-second lead by the end of this Grand Prix. I think we're going to be very close as far as this goes, because we're up to 18 seconds already, and I'm pretty certain I can probably get another second advantage going into Hizzies. We brake so late for Hizzies, and we seem to do it right every single time. I just love that combination of corners, which leads me into another little topic to mention. So shout out to Andy Yates and First Person Skater for both mentioning roughly the same thing. First Person Skater went a little bit more direct and said roughly, look at favourite combinations of corners that you like in tracks such as Mugello with Casanova and Savelli, and Andy Yates of course just went straight to the point. Best and worst corners in Ride 4. Great suggestions, and honestly, the list is going to be crazy to do. I'm going to have to really think about it, and I'm going to try to think about how to actually capture the footage, because I can't just do one corner and speak over like 5 seconds to mention the corner. But never mind about that. The Grand Prix is finished. We got our 20-second lead, which we desperately wanted to covet, and I think we did a pretty damn decent job here today. So there's a little bit of luck on the screen right now. We actually finished with a 20-second-and-a-half lead, but for the time being, let's move over to the garage and have a look at Sergio 23's wonderful livery. Thank you once again, Sergio. I really appreciate you making all these liveries. It's so good. Very talented man, and it looks so good in the game as well. So truly, everyone wins. But upon that note, guys, thank you very much for watching. As always, I really appreciate you checking out the content. If you enjoyed the video, why not hit that like button and consider subscribing as well. And of course, hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single DrAce upload and live stream. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now. Oh, hi. Didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.